Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful. I'm David Staples of the Edmonton Journal, and I'm here tonight with Bruce McCurdy. Bruce, it's hard to believe what we just witnessed.
Sure is.
A stress-free game for an Oilers fan. Yeah, that was good. 8-2.
8-2.
That helps the old Oilers goal differential a little bit, doesn't it? Are they up to 500 again? I wonder. Close.
No. Oh, for goals, I think that actually puts them back in the black, doesn't it?
I think they got down. Yeah, it's going to be really close. NHL.com will take forever. Bruce, this is our two good things, two bad things, and two numbers podcast. We'll do two good things each because it was an 8-2 victory over the Arizona Coyotes, kind of a topless team. All right. What's your first good thing?
All right. My first good thing is the start of the game. Oilers came out loaded for bear right from the beginning. They were skating. They were hustling. They were all around the puck. They had good puck support, and they just came ready to take care of business, and take care of business they did with an excellent, really, all three periods. They won all three periods by 2 goals, David. 2-0, 3-1, 3-1. And of course, I mean, they had an opponent that was. We want to talk about our road miseries. That was Arizona's 14th straight road game. They're finally going home to their new 5,000-seat arena.
Talk about a Mickey Mouse franchise, Bruce. I mean, this is the very definition of this is like WHA country.
It's very, very reminiscent of that.
Yeah.
The team goes away and you don't know when they're going to come back or if they're going to come back.
Just winging it. They're just making it up as they go along.
And they played 4 home games earlier in the season where they had the teams dressing in I can't remember what it was, some kind of laundry room or something under the stands, and they were complaining about that, and then they went for the 14-game road trip, but now they're going to come back to the swanky confines of their new 200-square-foot dressing room in I can't remember what arena it is. Like, they're not allowed to put their logo on center ice. It's one of the universities there, and the Coyotes can't even put their logo on their own home ice.
The visitors' dressing rooms have porta potties.
So they played 2 tough games, man. They lost 3-2 to Vancouver in overtime, and they lost 3-2 to Calgary on a goal in the last 5 minutes. But tonight they didn't have a whole lot of pushback. But like I said earlier, Edmonton did take care of business by coming out right from the gate. And I think the Oilers learned a couple of harsh lessons from Monday's fiasco against Washington. And they also had the return of Zach Hyman that helped. But I just thought the whole team was just good and sharp right out of the gate.
Yeah, they were. It was, and Arizona wasn't sharp at all.
Right.
They didn't get they did get one grade A shot in the first. The grade A shots in this game were 19-6 for the Oilers, and the 5 alarms were 9-4 for the Oilers. So this was not. The Oilers actually, what's that for expected goals? About 5 or 6, I guess. And for Arizona, maybe 2. Anyway, Bruce, the game saw something that we haven't seen a lot, and my good thing reflects that. It's the depth scoring, especially Derek Ryan. I just thought he was Johnny on the spot. And he just was. He had his legs going tonight. He was fast out there tonight, and he scored his first goal. Philip Broberry wins a battle and strips the puck in the neutral zone and slings it up the middle of the ice, I think, if I'm not mistaken on that play. And it goes to Costin, who he rags the puck a little bit. I might be mixing up Broberry's play, actually. We have him down as doing something on that with a battle one. Do you remember what it was? Maybe in the I can't remember. Anyway, he gets it to Costin in the neutral zone. Costin rags the puck for a second or two and kind of flips it into the offensive end, and it bounces to Ryan, who gets a clear breakaway, clear break-in shot, and puts in the goal. Very nice play, very nice deke by Derek Ryan on that goal, as I recall.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he really put a nice move to the backhand side and popped her home. Yeah, Broberry, he won a battle in the defensive zone with I think that was the one where he blocked his shot.
Oh, that's
And
right. That
and
was the block
it
shot.
bounced
It
up to
went
Costin.
went to Costin. That's what happened on that one. It's the other play. He had another one where he set up McDavid on a rush in. That's in the second period that I was thinking of. That's where he won it in the neutral zone and sent McDavid in. McDavid did his magic. So Ryan was involved. It looks like 4 major contributions to grade A shots. Couple. Second period, he sets up Tyson Berry for a grade A shot. He gets his own really hard jam shot. Darnell Nurse puts a shot in from outside, and Ryan almost scores on the rebound. Very nice save by the Coyotes goalie.
Yep.
And then he wins the puck in the offensive end and whips it over to Costin, who slams it home. So good for Derek Ryan. Like he's a lot of the players in the bottom 6 are getting criticism.
Yeah.
And a lot of the players, Bob Stauffer's said on Oilers Now today, he says, I guarantee you they're going to be changing up the bottom 6. And you have to know the players in those roles hear that.
Uh-huh.
And Ryan would be one of them who would be hearing
Yep,
that.
absolutely.
Devin Shore. And there's a number of guys
Yep.
whose jobs will be in danger.
They all got the memo tonight.
I thought Shore had a better game too. I thought he dug in a little harder than usual, showed a bit more aggression in his game. But Ryan was flying out there. Costin got the goal. I guess he got the Gordie Howe hat trick. Fight with Cassian right at the end there. Good for him. Fighting
Gordie
Cassian.
Howe hat trick.
Someone said
Fantastic.
that.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. He set up Ryan's goal. He scored one himself, and then he had the late fight with Cassian.
Yeah. So good for those guys. What's your second good thing, Bruce?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 4-1 goal by Nugent Hopkins. Not that it was anything more special than the other goals, other than the timing of it. The Oilers actually did get out in front to a good lead. It was 3-0. And the Coyotes got 1 goal, and it was a really good play, good strong power move to the net that the guy made, and a really good finish from McBain. Now, is that Andrew McBain's kid, I'm wondering? Must be, eh?
You think?
Jack McBain. Yeah, I'm thinking so.
Could be.
Remember Andrew McBain from North Bay. Anyway, Jack used to play for the Jets. Anyway.
Yeah, he was a big winger.
And it was 3-1. He was. Yeah, it was 3-1. And you're thinking, well, I think Oilers got this game under control, but you really want to get that next goal. You don't want them to get to 3-2, and then you're doing a little bit of this white knuckle stuff, and there's just no room for it tonight. They got to win this game. They got to win this game.
Yeah.
And 23 seconds later, they won the face-off. Nurse took it into the blue line, got it in deep. They pressured the Coyotes, and then Arizona tried to break out, and Yamamoto challenged the guy at the blue line, chipped the puck off his stick. It was almost a 2-on-0, but Yamamoto kind of lost his balance, but in so doing, he chipped the puck ahead to Nugent Hopkins. And RNH just went in and fired one home just in the Sakic spot where Burnaby Ryan likes to shoot, just inside the stick side post. And he nailed it. And it was 4-1. And in those 23 seconds, any doubt as to who was going to win that game utterly evaporated for everybody in the barn, including the Coyotes. They knew they were done at that moment.
Yeah.
It was just such a great instant response. Oh, yeah, you're going to score? Well, we can score. Boom. Okay, we got our 3-goal lead back. Now what are you going to do?
Ryan,
and the Coyotes put their tails between their legs.
Ryan Nugent Hopkins is hot as a pistol right now. He is. He's going gay. He's never had
13 goals.
Well, he might have had a streak like this in his rookie year, where he was riding really high at one point. Yeah, in terms of points. But this is This is
It's a
awesome.
third of the way through the season, David. He's on pace for 40 goals at this moment.
He's on pace for 90,
39,
90,
39.
yeah, 90 points. So this is quite an eventful year so far for Nugent Hopkins. And we'll talk a little bit a bit more about that. So my second good thing is Connor McDavid. And he was his usual self early in the game. He was in on a lot of chances, but what I'm going to remark on tonight is his third period play. And he did the full Gretzky tonight. And you always want to do the full Gretzky. And he never does it, right? He never does this, but he did it tonight. Wayne Gretzky's got so many goals and points in garbage time. He would not let up. He would put the pedal to the metal when the Oilers were up by 3 or 4 goals, and he would get 2 or 3 or 4 points. Not sometimes, not all the time, but a few times a year, I'm going to say.
He'd often get an extra point or two down the stretch of
how about regularly?
One game, yeah. Often, yes.
Yeah, he never let up, and I just remember how he never let up because he would back check like crazy and stick check, lift their stick, steal the puck, go in and try to he would just not let up. But McDavid just doesn't. That's not his thing, and it wasn't really his thing tonight. But it just kind of the plays came his way with him and Draisaitl, and the first one was an absolutely great move by Draisaitl. First at the blue line, he spins onto his backhand, and then he finds with a backhand pass. Diagonal backhand pass across the ice, down low to McDavid, who doesn't shoot, but he doesn't really have a shooting angle. He takes it around the net, and the goalie is just way out of it. He's not even close to making the save, and he does the wraparound and slams it in. That was just an amazing goal. The next one is Tyson Barrie puts it over to Hyman. Hyman is down low, and he does the low high pass to McDavid in the slot. And McDavid just rifles it in on a one-timer shot. And another, so 2 points, 2 goals, and puts himself to be the league leader again at 24 goals. I think he's ahead of Robertson.
He is. Passed him.
So again, it was just, I love to see it. I love to see when my hockey heroes pick up cheap points late in a game, and that this game provided that aplenty for McDavid tonight.
Yeah, well, you don't get to 50 goals in 39 games by passing up opportunities in garbage time. I mean, that's one of the reasons, as you say, that Gretzky set the records that he did, was that he wouldn't lay off, particularly in one games. And I mean, it's very unusual to see McDavid score the 7-1 and 8-1 goals in a game. But then again, it's very unusual for the Oilers to have a big lead in games this year. So
yeah, that's true too.
So we'll take those 2 and 2 for 4 points for McDavid now tonight, and he's up to 24 and 28, 52 points through 20. So he's on pace for 156 points.
Nice.
So
and we're getting into where, usually early in the season that kind of talk is ridiculous, but we're getting into the point of the season
where it's third of the season. It's a significant sample. And he's not exactly slowing down. He's got 17 points in his last 7 games, I think they said. So, that's almost Gretzky territory right there.
And apparently, I don't know, I haven't done the weighted average of the Oilers' schedule, but apparently, they played a lot of the harder teams so far, and they haven't played some of the easier games. They're going to get so-called easier games. So we'll see against San Jose and Anaheim and this team and maybe the Canucks if the Canucks are softened up, which they appear to be.
I remember one time, David Gretzky, this is Gretzky, and there was a graphic on the game late in his time in Edmonton. And there's this graphic that said Wayne Gretzky, 17 points in his last 7 games, same as McDavid's got now. And I remember saying to my wife, you could probably put the same graphic up, 170 points in his last 70 games, or 1,700 points in his last 700 games, because he just kept that pace up all the time, right? 2.5 points a game. That's how he rolled. So maybe Connor's getting into that vibe.
Your bad thing.
Yeah. I guess bad thing is wasted goals, but I mean, that's not a bad thing, but you get a couple of breaks on a night you really don't need a couple of breaks. I'll take a mulligan and go with the Coyotes schedule that had them playing this 14 road games in a row. And you could see they were just at the end of their tether. And once they ran into a determined team, they were done and done early. So the bad thing, I guess, is that we didn't really get a very competitive game from the NHL tonight. Not that I particularly mind. It's nice to see the Oilers kick the crap out of anyone, but the Coyotes, they were just not able to compete tonight. They had 18 shots one game after the Oilers had allowed 50 shots. They held their opponents to 18, so some pretty good business being taken care of there.
What a difference a game makes for the mood of Oiler fans tonight. Bruce,
Well,
my bad
mood
thing.
of the Oilers.
Mood of the Oilers
they
too.
were really into this one. Last game they were just flat. It just didn't happen.
My bad thing isn't anything to do with the game. It's an interview that Jesse Puljujärvi gave to Finnish reporter Tommy Seppala of YLE Sport. And I want to give credit to both Tommy Seppala for the interview and Mark Spector, who he got Seppala to translate it, which is much better than going on Google Translation. Google Translation from Finnish to English is often pretty long. So Mark got a very good translation. So good work by Mark Spector on this. So it was just and why it's my bad thing. It's just a really discouraging interview, and you could just feel the players. I don't know if anguish, frustration doesn't seem like a strong enough word. Anguish may seem. Actually, it felt more like anguish than frustration, Bruce. Like the quotes from Puljujärvi were like, for a fan of the player, they were kind of heartbreaking, honestly. You see how he's struggling. So if you haven't seen this in Mark Spector's column in Sportsnet, here's the key quotes from Puljujärvi. He was talking about playing with McDavid while at the same time slumping, and he said, quote, "It takes a lot to play with a superstar like him. You have to win battles and make plays at the same time. It's a high-quality game, and it takes a good player. You have to be a really good player to play with him. It's hard to tell why I'm not scoring. I've been thinking about it a lot. I think I scored earlier, and I think now I'm older, more experienced, and a better player, yet I'm not scoring. If you play with Connor, you have to score. Maybe I just don't have it. Of course, I'd like to be a productive top-line player, but right now it looks like I can't do that in the NHL. Maybe some other league."
Oh.
Yeah. That was really bad. That was
break your heart.
Yeah, it really is. Like it's and Ken Holland's quotes. It's just like what he says. The GM says, "What can I say? It's a tough league," and it's true. Like this is the toughest hockey league by far in the world. You can be the best player in the world almost when you're 17 years old, 18 years old in the entire world. As Puljujärvi was close to, he was in that group, 2 or 3 guys fighting that year, fighting for that title, and
MVP of the World Juniors at 17.
Yeah,
you don't see that very often.
Ripped it apart, just carrying the puck all over the place, making plays with Laine and Aho, and he has not yet found his game at the NHL level. And so I dug into. I'll just go right to my number, Bruce, because my number is related to this. It's the shooting percentage. I'm going to focus on 2 different players. Puljujärvi's for grade A shots. So usually grade A shots go in. This year, the Oilers have had, according to my total here, 374 grade A shots, and 25.9% of them have ended up as goals. It's usually about 25% over a season.
Right.
Last year it was 24% or something. Anyway, so average, a quarter of the time you get a grade A shot, it's going in. Jesse Puljujärvi's had 17 of those shots this year, and he's only got the 1 goal. And I figure he should have, like, if he just had average puck luck, he'd have 4 or 5 goals. And if he had 4 or 5 goals, we wouldn't have this kind of despair, I don't think, from the player or from a lot of fans about his play. Like, he just now the problem is he also had some pretty bad puck luck last year. He and at some point he shot 15.6% last year on grade A shots. So again, he's quite a bit below. He's 10% below about where he should be in terms of converting them. And at some point, you start to think the guy doesn't have hands. Like this isn't. Some players like Draisaitl are consistently above,
Yeah.
way above. Like Leon Draisaitl last year scored on 30% of his shots. This year,
Mhm.
Leon scoring on 30. Let me just find Leon. He's scoring on 36% of his shots this
Grade
year,
A
including tonight.
shots.
Grade A shots, excuse me. Yeah.
Hmm.
These are on, when I say shots, this is
Yeah.
all about grade A shots.
Yeah.
36%. So he's 11% above. And yes, last year 10% below, and this year he's 20% below. So some of it is puck luck, but some of it is he brings a lot on the attack. He screens the goalie, he pops pucks. He's a very strong passer of the puck. He's an unselfish player. He's a good defensive player. He is not. I think it's at this point of his career, he can't finish for the life of him, and
Hmm.
it's wearing on him. It's discouraging to him, and it's discouraging to all Oiler fans who are rooting for the guy to succeed with the Edmonton Oilers this year.
Yeah, it reminds me of that season where Valerie Nichushkin got 0 goals and 0 penalty minutes, and just nothing would go for the guy. And he turned out later, eventually, to be a hell of a player. But these big guys, it takes some time, eh? And I still think he can be a player, but I'm starting to have my serious doubts that it's going to be here in Edmonton. I was always thinking, just wait, be patient. When this guy's 23 or 24 or 25, he's going to pop. And often, though, they need that second opinion. I mean, well, Nichushkin, I just mentioned. How about Tage Thompson that started with St. Louis Blues? I remember him scoring his first goal against the Oilers on a wicked shot from the high slot a number of years ago. I'm, holy God, that's a guy to watch. And then 5 or 6 years later, he's in another conference, some other team, and all of a sudden he pops to a 38 goal season last year. And who knows what he's going to get this year? He got 5 goals in tonight's game. That big guy. And then the big guys, especially. But yes, it's like his confidence has departed. And it's like I mean, he bobbles the puck when he gets a chance. Like I just keep thinking, calm down, just calm the down around the net, and just learn to be calm and just pop it home. You don't have to do anything exceptional. You just have to make your shot. And sometimes that's the problem, and some of it's just puck luck. Like he's hit a couple posts. He had one the other night where he shot between the goalie's body and his blocker, and the goalie squeezed him and hit his hip or something and missed the post by like a millimeter. It was just, oh man, I went through him and everything. I just still couldn't go in the net. And as you can tell from that interview, his confidence is shot. And I haven't seen much in recent games really where I thought he was even a threat to score. And, it's just, go up and down your wing, take the body, do all those things, but scoring is just not part of the equation at this time. And it's distressing.
Things can turn around. Like so, last year, Bruce Nugent Hopkins,
Hmm.
in 63 games, he had 11 goals, and he shot at 17%. So he's about 8% below the team average, right? He's having a
Yeah.
and you're thinking this guy is never going to be a sniper. He's never going to get it. Like he just not it's not in him. And all of a sudden this year, he's already got 13 goals in 27 games. He's got 13 goals and he's shooting 31.7% of his grade A shots are going in the net. So, he's doubled it almost.
Right.
His grade A shots conversion rate. So, and he's shooting the puck with a lot more authority. Like I don't think I'm imagining this. He just looks confident and like he looks like he thinks I'm going to beat the goalie. And Puljujärvi think when he's shooting, it's like I'm going to get beat down into the ice because I'm going to flub this one again and feel like crap. So, he might be one of these guys, Bruce. Who there's the odd player who just wants to play in his home country too. Like there has been that guy. Um, he could be that guy. We'll find out. I think if he sticks with it in the NHL, I mean, he should have 4 or 5 goals this year. If he did, it would be a different narrative about him. So if he sticks with it in the NHL, he can help. He talked about he was starting to hit to earn his place with the Oilers. Yeah, he does have to play physical. That's a good idea. If you're not scoring, do something. I like the line tonight with him and Holloway and Hamlin. This kind of young energy. Um, Stick with those guys for a while, see how that goes. Holloway could use
Mhm.
some extra minutes, extra time. Puljujärvi, then he is the man on that line. He will maybe start to sink in like he's the one who should be carrying that puck. Yeah, carry the mail. Maybe he'll do it. So anyway, the saga of Jesse Puljujärvi, man, it has been of all the sagas that we've had over the years with players, Bruce. This is one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's always seems to be, there's a lot of drama around this guy, and there's very polarized camps.
Yeah, there
And
is.
I know there's a lot of people out there. I mean, you talked about, Spector doing good work, getting the proper translation of the interview. There's lots of people mad at him for the headline or perhaps the tweet that he couched it in as perceived to be a shot at Yassa. And, there's a lot of very uh, sensitive, high sensitivity to items surrounding this player.
Yes, there is.
And it's
There is. No
and there's
joking about his.
hardcore
No joke.
fans, and then there's people that are just throwing all kinds of darts and bullets at him, and that doesn't help at all. But anyway, I think this is a story that's going to leave Edmonton for some other location before. I won't say before the end of 2022, but I would say before the start of next season. There'll be
Yeah, well, yeah,
there'll
because
be
they
some
can't
kind of resolution.
unless he goes on some incredible run, right? Like that can always happen. But they, you can't if he only scores if like even let's say he somehow like his expected goals he ends up he scores 10 and should have scored 15 in the end or
Right.
something like that. That's still not very good for a guy earning $3 million a year, and they probably would, that would be a hard decision about even qualifying him at that point. But he'd have to get hot to get to 10 goals. Um, so I don't know what's going to happen with him either. I wish him the best of luck. He's such a likable person, I find. And I
Mhm.
think he's got pretty good skill. He's got great size, and he plays a responsible two-way game. So I don't have anything against him as a player. I think he helps. I think he can help a team win. But man, if he just swallowed some kind of potion that gave him half the confidence of Leon Draisaitl,
Yeah.
we'd have a player here, Bruce.
Yeah. I mean, can you see Puljujärvi making the shot that Leon roofed on
No.
that? Like it's just not in his arsenal.
Yeah.
And neither really is that kind of swagger. You kind of would like to see a little bit more of that from him. But anyway, it's as you say, that interview was really kind of sad. It was very unfortunate to read. And sometimes these uh, uh, import players from other countries, they do that a little bit. They open up in interviews in their native tongue,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they talk to somebody, and it's sort of, oh, here's somebody who knows. Uh, and of course, it takes us these days in Canada all of about 5 minutes to apply Google Translate to every word that gets reported about these guys in another.
Yeah.
Uh,
It ain't the.
I mean, I remember that time Oscar Klefbom had a quote about Taylor Hall not playing at his best in big games, and holy moly, that thing just exploded. And he just said something to, this was right after Hall got traded, and Klefbom was in Sweden, and he
I
just said
forgot
that
that.
you were away. So I wrote this post, this is why I remember it. 'Cause this is usually your kind of post, but you were away, so I wrote it. And it had like huge page views, and it was just sort of translating. Uh, uh, Google translating Clefbaum's comments, and then Clefbaum sort of walked it back a little bit and said, "None of us played well in the biggest games. That's why we missed the playoffs," kind of thing. But it was it wasn't a matter of he said something in Swedish and it just stayed. It's not like what you say in Sweden stays in Sweden. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
If it
Geez, it's
gets
kind
on the
of
internet, it's global in a heartbeat.
I'd never known that I never knew that he said that. And so this might be a little bit true about Hall. I don't know. Like he's never really been a playoff hero. He's had a few opportunities now. All right. Your number, Bruce.
I'm going to go with number two. This is the second time all year this has happened, that the Oilers scored the first two goals in a game. Can you believe it? They had a 2-0 lead once in the first 26 games. They finally got a 2-0 lead for the second time tonight. So, you got to think any game where if your team's a 50-50 team, right, it's like flipping heads twice in a row. There's a 1 in 4 chance you're going to do it. And yet, for the Oilers, there was a 1 in 26 chance before tonight. And so finally, they got two. And this is a closely related two. This is the second time, again, second time all year that they scored two goals in the first period. They had all year long. They had four goals. That one game where they stomped Nashville. Nashville scored first, and Edmonton came back and went wham, 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 and it was 4-1, and they skated away 7-4. That's the only game all year before tonight where Edmonton even had two goals by the end of the first period. And that's a good period, but it's not exactly unrealistic to get two goals in the first period. I mean, that's just one each for Connor and Leon, right? Should be doable. And I kind of be interested to see the splits of Connor and Leon. I think they kind of maybe a little bit slow starters and playing their way into games, or that's what's been happening. Because Edmonton only had 15 first period goals, I think, before tonight.
Yeah.
And like they had a lot of games with zero and a whole lot of games with one, and the one game where they had four. So that's the second two. And I'm just going to throw in a bonus too that Klim Kostin was the second Oiler to have a fight this year in Game 27. They had one official fight before tonight, and it also occurred in the 60th minute of a game. That was Jesse Puljujärvi, where I think he dropped one of his gloves and not the other one. So you can call it a fight or not if you want. This was a real fight. Cassian cross-checked Kostin, gave him a couple of dirty cross-checks, and Kostin responded to the second one saying, "I'm not taking that from you or anyone." And it was just such a surprise. It used to be such a common sight in hockey, David, and now it's become almost a complete afterthought. Like we had two fights all year. Both of them came in the 60th minute of a game in garbage time of a decided game, and whatever tempers got up a little bit. But it's just almost completely gone out of the at least the Edmonton Oilers game, and that's it used to be a trademark of Ken Holland's teams in Detroit that they used to come last in the league in fighting majors every year.
Because he didn't have a
I wonder if there's some element of that. But I mean, it is gradually phasing out of the game, but it's really striking. Only two in 27 games, like that's they'll have six all year at that rate. And I'm not even saying good or bad. I'm just noticing that, hey, a fight actually happened. This is rare. Two times all year. So 2 times all year for a fight, 2 times all year for two goals in the first period, 2 times all year for a 2-0 lead at any point in the game.
Alrighty. Well, Bruce, Kurt's doing the game grades. I bet you he's done already. It's probably done after the second period.
The Coyotes were
working. Yeah, so are the Coyotes. You're working on a little bit of a cold there, so let's call it a night. Let's call it a night.
I've been fighting it, David. I had to miss my walk.
Ooh.
Yesterday I was so sick.
Yesterday was cold.
First time. Yeah, well, I've been walking indoors on the super cold days, but I didn't even want to take what I had anywhere near other people, and I didn't have the energy. So my streak is over after 3 years and a bit every day, but so it goes. And today I'm feeling better, but probably sounding worse, so I apologize. I've been shuffling all over the place. I'm not really entirely with it here, but we'll struggle through.
All right. Thanks for talking tonight, Bruce. Hang in there.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
And in the meantime, and in between times, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.